What up? It's your boy Dave B. You watching DaveBeyondTV, where we go beyond that everyday bullshit that people be consuming on a day-to-day basis. And I want to talk real quick about the moon being in Taurus and the sun being in Cancer. So right now we're dealing with a lot of energies that have to do with being comfortability, even though we're going through a highly uncomfortable time, especially with the moon's proximity to Uranus. Uranus being in Taurus is like, we're all kind of going through certain situations and circumstances that's forcing us to especially expand, because I was even talking about in that last video how the sun is squaring Jupiter right now. So we're learning how to kind of get with our experiences and learning how to feel about our experiences through what we're seeing. Also expanding on our passions and getting more comfortable with our passions and our goals on that level. So that's kind of how the square is playing out for the most part. Now, when we talk about the moon being in Taurus, this is the moon being exalted. So the moon being exalted here, you could say that right now is a time where there's a heightened sense of manifestation. Not necessarily the best time or the worst time, but there's a heightened, the moon is exalted. So, you're talking about having, whatever feelings that are coming across you and that you're allowing to sit and resonate with you. These feelings are going to kind of solidify themselves and stand out a lot more than when the moon is in different other signs. You know what I'm saying? So right now you got to be really mindful about what is on your heart and what you are feeling, what you are feeling at the moment, especially with Cancer, because see, Cancer being a cardinal water sign, see, the beauty of Cancer, right? I'm over here looking at my hair, man. The beauty of Cancer, for real, is the ability to change your feelings, to change how you feel, to change your moods, to move with it, to be able to create different waves, and instead of being just allowing yourself, instead of being kind of taking and swaying with whatever the water goes, like if the sun was in Pisces or with Pisces energy, being mutable water. So whatever feeling is already in the water, that's the flow that you feel like you need to go along with. It's not really about going with the flow, it's about initiating and changing the flow to go more in your favor. So right now we have a choice, and that choice is coming down to whether or not you want to continue feeling how you feel. And if that's in a negative way, even if you are feeling how you want to feel, it's important to change how you feel slightly, to change and modify it so that you can kind of stay current with the energies going on right now with Cancer. Because it's like, chances are, if you are in your comfort zone, you're not going to be like that for long. There's going to be something that comes across that may throw you off, throw you in a certain direction. And right now, see, we're being tested in ways of needing to have a again, clear vision on how we want to feel about our experiences. You know what I'm saying? And as we're learning more about our experiences and how to feel about them, we again, the power lies in that sun energy, where it's like, okay, but you got to decide how you want to feel about that. You got to decide whether or not or how you want to change. You got to decide when is the, not even so much when is the right time to change, but again, you got to really, this is a time where we're all going to be paying attention to how we feel and how comfortable we are with certain things and how uncomfortable we may be. And it's just our job to, again, change, to move it however we need to move, however we see fit. So, don't relinquish your power on that sense. Make sure that you stay firm with your sense of being like, oh no, I have the power to change how I feel. So even if you're getting hit with a lot of negativity, and a lot of times this negativity is going to come from internally, and it might look like different things outside of you, but again, you are the only one who controls how you feel about things. So it's like, at the end of the day, yeah, somebody might be in your face antagonizing you or playing out certain characteristics that make you uncomfortable, so you feel as though they're the problem and you're the victim. But again, that's a mentality, a trap that you put yourself in. Nobody can make you feel anything. You're the one who allows somebody to make you feel a certain way. You're the one who allows a circumstance and situation to go where it goes. So you gotta kind of keep a grip on how you feel. So this is really even though we got a lot of energies that deal with manifestation, this is an energy, this is a time where we're going to be doing a lot of inner maintenance, inner checking ourselves and making sure, okay, hey, Also, it's like a time too to be checking insecurities and things of that nature, and things that allow us to feel vulnerable when we don't need to be, things that allow us to feel like we have to fight, saying things that put us in a mood, and that mood makes us feel defensive, or that mood makes us feel like, okay, well, I gotta put up, saying, because there's a difference between pushing out a mood because you're insecure about something and want to hide that, versus pushing out a mood because you genuinely are trying to change the mood. You're like, no, I don't want to feel this way, so boom, so one of them is moving out in a way where it's like, oh, I'm just being hurt, and I'm a little moody, and I don't want nobody crossing that line, so boom, I gotta push out a wave. The other one is more so being like, okay, wait, hold up, there's something that's triggering me in this situation, the circumstance, that's an inner issue. And even though somebody might have triggered that, there's an inner thing that I need to change. So I need to go within myself and change how I feel about that in order to get everything kind of back on track for myself, so that's the type of inner maintenance we're gonna have to be doing right now in order to make sure that things are flowing, and so that by the time that I almost say Aries, but that Leo comes around, we'll be more open and available to feel how we want to feel. We can get fixated in a feeling that is more associated with what we're actually trying to manifest for ourselves, a feeling that's more in alignment with who we are and what we want to be seen for, what we what we want to push out and express, because it's not going to be a fun time in Leo if you don't utilize this time to change how you feel. The feeling that you end up clinging on to will be kind of just outdated, old, it's stale, negative, nasty, all those negative connotations. So just kind of keep that in mind right now. So the focus is on how you feel, but not just getting lost in how you feel, and not also being too selfish and fixated on how you feel. Instead, knowing how to change how you feel, and knowing how to kind of move with, how to push out currents, and how to see things, also seeing the reality of things right now, because we got we got Saturn in Aquarius, which is an inconjunct with the sun, low key. So it's like, off the bat too, we might not even understand too much about how reality is kind of like, we might need to take a little extra time trying to put our reality again, our sense of reality together. We might need to take a little bit of time to kind of sit back and see how our feelings might not be might not be like the feelings that we're in, the vibes, the vibrations that we're in, how they might be getting in the way of us gaining stability, how they might be conflicted with our ways of seeing reality. And because there's going to be slight conflicts with that going on as we get further into Cancer season. And I think Saturn is in retrograde as well. So Saturn going in retrograde, or Saturn already being in retrograde again, we're already kind of rethinking how we are going about structure and stability right now. I know that a lot of people probably are trying to sort that out for themselves, like how they're going to get from point A to point B, how they're going to make everything make sense in their life, and also kind of looking at their associations and wondering, or willing to pick up the pieces back in their associations and seeing, okay, who's who, but not just who's who. We've had time to see who's who, but now it's kind of like going back to these associations and seeing where we can actually apply ourselves and connect, rather than just having a bunch of associates that are around, but we don't really know how to interact with them. This is us getting kind of closer on that tip. And then Venus just got into Gemini. So right now, when it comes to how we love, appreciate, and value things, they're in a Gemini aspect. So that means being light, being free, communicating. We already know the common stuff, but really also a lighter way of kind of associating with our pleasures. So our pleasures might be on our mind a lot too. So try not to overthink about where your next pleasure is going to come from, or overthink about, because that overthinking can start to become overindulgent. But the cool thing is that what we want is going to be on our mind. So it's about not getting too lost in what we want to the point where we end up following that to la la land. But it's more so about being able to kind of identify and again get more curious and lighthearted about what it is that we appreciate and value, and see these things as attainable rather than things that are out of our reach. You know, that's the thing. Sometimes our what we want and what we appreciate, what we feel like we love and we want as a pleasure, sometimes we might think that it's too far away. But now it's the time to kind of get curious and almost like creative. And you know what might end up happening is you might have actually better ideas. You might come across a lot more ideas on how to actually obtain certain things that you can consider like, oh, that's my pleasure. Okay, let me get a little curious and see how can I obtain this in a different kind of way. My mind might have been stuck in a certain way that was kind of conflicting with how I was going about trying to attain my pleasures, or trying to even express love. You know what I'm saying? So even when it comes to trying to express love, it's going to come through communication, and you might actually benefit from having different ideas that can help kind of different ideas that expand your mind, in a sense, not expansion as Jupiter, but again expanding your mind, kind of allowing different ideas to come in, so that maybe, just maybe, you can communicate how much you know what I'm saying, appreciate somebody, or how you want to express love. You might come to better conclusions on how to convey that in a more intellectual level. But as long as you keep it lighthearted and not too heavy and get too fixated on how you want to say this and how you want to say that, that defeats the purpose of it being a Gemini. Gemini is to lighten it up, make it simple, you know, so simplifying your pleasures as well. And that helps as well too, because again, your pleasures, you end up making them so complex that just to get to them is a process. And it's like, you can lighten all that up and make it a lot more simple, or even learn to appreciate the simple things in life. You know what I'm saying, the simple, minute things that you might overlook all day, but these are the very things that might actually be benefiting you, because it supplies you with enough, small wins to keep you going for the long haul. So if you have a long goal, you have a long-term goal, you need smaller goals in between to get you to that bigger space, to get you to that further space. So it's like, you know, this is good. You know, you can kind of play tricks with yourself in your own mind to kind of create incentives for you to keep going down your path. Because, I just know how it be. You know, we all, going after our goals and doing what we doing, living our life, but a lot of times this stuff can become daunting. It can become, we can feel the pressure and feel like, damn, am I ever gonna get there? Am I ever gonna reach my goal? Am I ever going, and we might feel pressure from everywhere else. But at least when it comes to our pleasures and what we appreciate and value, we can start to value the smaller things. We can start valuing the simple things and get more curious, value curiosity, and may just stumble upon receiving these pleasures without having to, do the most for them, and break our minds and break our mentality. It's like, there might be another idea or way of thinking about it that we can actually manifest these things to come quicker to us. So, that's the cool thing about Venus and Gemini. And, on the surface level, of course, like relationships and stuff like that, again, the emphasis is going to be on communication. So whatever, with your partner and stuff, you want to just make sure that you, again, even with them, remaining light and not taking so many different things to heart. We're dealing with Cancer energy, so the heart is involved, but again, it's going to be not opportunities, but it's going to be situations and things that you're going to be seeing ways to get more comfortable. But when it comes to actually you in these relationships and how you need to be expressing yourself to your partner, it should be in a way where you allow space for communication to be had, and for the communication itself and the topics itself to not be so deep. Allow y'all to smile and have some fun. You know what I'm saying? Have some fun, even if y'all going through hard times. Still, when you think about them, don't think about them in such a heavy way, a way where you're throwing your problems onto them, or vice versa. You're allowing them to throw their problems onto you. You need to make sure that when you think about your partner, or when y'all talking and interacting, that there's lighthearted energy there somewhere in there. Even if y'all having a serious conversation, you can still smile about it, and there's still a willingness to just allow how they think to exist too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we can be so pinned up on how we want to see things, or how we want to think about things, or how we want to da 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 da, whatever it might have, whatever it might be. But again, Venus and Gemini is like, hold on, there needs to be space for them to have their own mentality, and for you to have your own mentality, and for y'all to be willing to exchange conversation, ideas, without too much restriction based upon, again, you being selfish, they being selfish, all these other different things. Be more curious to what's on their mind. Be more curious to how they think, and allow that to be. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know this it's easier said than done, because people sometimes, like, everybody get frustrated sometimes about different people and shit like that, like whether it's your partner or not. Everybody get frustrated and get tired of things, and we all need moments where we actually are selfish in our own minds about certain things. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, it all just is what it is. But for the most part, just kind of keep that in mind. Trying to think what else. Yeah, so the moon in Taurus, and with the moon in Taurus as well, you want to make sure, with the moon in Taurus as well, you want to make sure, again, you are reacting and responding to what's real in a sense, but also not allowing yourself to get exhausted when it comes to trying to be comfortable or trying to secure things, because that's another thing too. This energy, if you are feeling uncomfortable, if you are feeling the pressure in certain areas, you might allow the moon to kind of make you want to go extreme with certain things, and trying to whether it's work on things or secure certain things, you might allow the moon to kind of take you over the edge with that. So it's like, you want to make sure you're not doing too much, especially when it comes to stability and safety, because it's like that'll drive you to try to kill somebody, because you're so pent up on, oh, I'm not comfortable and I don't feel safe, I don't feel stable, I need to go ahead and get something. And it can make you extremely selfish in a sense as well. And you don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, like I said before, it's cool to be selfish sometimes, but you don't want to be selfish to your detriment. You know what I'm saying, where you're actually putting blood on your hands, or you're putting yourself in compromising situations in the future, simply because you are a little uncomfortable right now. That ain't somebody else's problem all the time. Just because you feeling unstable and you feeling insecure in certain areas, that's nobody else's problem. So you have to stop, again, don't try not to project that onto somebody else all the time. You gotta make sure that, hey, whatever I'm feeling, that's my responsibility, and I gotta make sure I clear that up first before I'm going out into the world expressing myself in ways and putting my energy on certain people. And that's another thing about Cancer energy. It'll put its weight on you, emotional weight, its water on you real quick, you know what I'm saying, if you're not careful. So you'll fuck around, be around a Cancer, all of a sudden you the reason why everything's going wrong, you know what I'm saying, just because they're in a mood. They might not even really mean everything they say on that level. They do, but they don't, you know what I'm saying, they don't. Again, like when you just pushing your water off on some people, so that's just them getting their shit off. But again, they don't really care too much about the impact that might have on somebody, because somebody might actually take that to heart, because the Cancer said it, and the whole time the Cancer looking like, oh damn, well, hey, it's off my chest, that's fucked up, you know what I'm saying. So don't be like that. But yeah, that's some of that energy. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, so for the most part, that's what's going on right now. So yeah, a lot of spiritual, just kind of spiritual, internal spiritual checklist, you know what I'm saying, going through yourself, and making sure you patching up where, you might actually be allowing yourself to be allowing yourself, like, kind of, you want to make sure that you're going within yourself to make sure that you're not, again, it's kind of just like checking yourself, you know what I'm saying. You want to check yourself right now, especially before the new moon, you know what I'm saying. Before the new moon, you want to kind of just check before you check the cracks in your ways of going about, because it's like we're paying attention to our feelings. So it's about kind of going within and checking those things, checking our soft spots, and checking up on ourselves, and making sure that we're nurturing ourselves to be strong within ourselves. So taking a lot of time for yourself, and almost to the extent of self-care, you know what I'm saying, in that same category, or that same energy, making sure that you're self-care minded, taking care of yourself and checking within just to make sure that all those points is solidified before you get too lost in what's going on outside, getting too lost in what's going on here, there, and everywhere. You know, you want to make sure you just kind of taking the time to go within yourself and being like, okay, well, let me make sure I'm okay. Let me make sure I'm feeling right. Let me make sure my vibe is right. And but at the same time, in the same capacity, not being too afraid, because that's the thing too. You want to make sure you're all right so that you're not too afraid to show yourself. And that's going to become more and more important the further we get, the closer we get to Leo season. And we in the summertime. So right now in the summertime, it's like, yeah, it's pop out time, but in order to pop out, you got to be feeling yourself right. So you got to just, you know, again, like I said, that's what the check-in is for. Checking in with yourself to make sure you're feeling right, so that when you do pop out, you can pop out and you won't feel so insecure. You won't feel so like you need to hide, or you won't feel so you know what I'm saying, just pressure to try to, you know, whatever it might be, you know, whatever it might be, you know what I'm saying, whatever it might be. I'm gonna leave that open-ended, so whatever you're going through, you can, you know, see where it lines up for you. If it do, it do. If it don't, you know, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, so that's for the most part what's going on. And trying to think, man, I think that's it for the most part. Anyway, much love, and I'll catch you on the next one.